Energy, focus, and volume. 3 big bold words on the cover of this container. Is it true or is it just a myth? I think Impact stands up to the name and the label. We're going to dive into the ingredients of Impact and why it's such an impactful pre-workout. Alright guys, let's dive into Impact a little bit. So when you look at the label of Impact, they kind of have it separated out in different little segments about why these ingredients are beneficial. We're going to dive into each individual ingredient just kind of on the surface level, just to understand why they selected these ingredients, why they put them in the doses they did and in the different segments they did, and why all these ingredients all together makes for a pretty impressive pre-workout. The first segment on the label, you'll see a muscle swelling pump activator. Verbatim, guys. So it has citrulline, agmatine sulfate, taurine, and N-Acetyl L-Cysteine. These are amino acids or metabolites of amino acid, namely agmatine sulfate. So each of these contribute to the pump or the swell of a muscle. If you're a little bit more curious about this and a little bit of the contributors of all the different amino acids that go into this, please go ahead and check out my citrulline or arginine video and my agmatine sulfate, which we'll touch on a little bit here. Those videos will kind of help explain these ingredients a little bit more in depth. But all of these ingredients synergistically work together to contribute to nitric oxide production within the blood vessels. So what this does is it causes an expansion of the blood vessels, improving blood flow. This is what leads to what's considered the pump within a workout. So typically people are working out upper body, they kind of feel a sense of tension or swelling within the muscle. This is the pump. This is the blood vessels expanding, blood flowing more rapidly and delivering oxygen nutrients much more effectively. This is actually will contribute to enhanced power output and performance and typically endurance during a workout. And then another thing to note, and they don't necessarily have it labeled within the ingredients, but taurine and N-Acetyl L-Cysteine are actually both considered something of antioxidants, believe it or not. So they actually help protect against oxidative stress. This is really important when you're working out, because when you're working out, you cause damage to the muscles. You actually induce oxidative stress throughout the body. Now this is at a small level actually a good thing, because it trains your body to adapt from this stress and become stronger and better. But the more you induce this stress, the more likely you'll lead to sense of burnout, or your recoveries will be more dampened and your next workout might not be quite as good. By adding taurine and N-Acetyl L-Cysteine, not only are they contributing to your pump or the muscle swell, they're actually helping your performance and your recovery every time after you work out by reducing that oxidative stress that you induced. Second section that we're going to be looking at on the supplements fact is the muscle endurance activator. There's only 2 ingredients, but they're pretty important ones, guys, and it's Beta-Alanine and coconut water powder. 2 really powerful ingredients. You really don't need a whole lot more than that when we're talking about endurance. You guys, if you want to learn about more on beta-alanine, please check out my other video about beta-alanine. Really relevant, and it'll help explain this more in depth. For the sake of this video, I'm basically just going to say beta-alanine is an amino acid, not essential in the diet, but really well researched, really well backed. It's safe and it's effective. It helps delay the burn of a muscle while you're working out. This can be used if you're cycling, if you're swimming, you're running, or you're weightlifting. No matter what you do, eventually you're going to induce this sense of the burn. It's this onset of lactic acid, and it helps buffer that. The coconut water powder is basically, as it sounds, it's dried coconut water, and there's plenty of research going into coconut water at this point. We're finally starting to understand that the different minerals and the micronutrients within coconut water actually is a really good endurance amplifier, simply from the bare fact that it actually enhances hydration status, because when you work out, you're losing a lot of these electrolytes. It's really what was the basis behind Gatorade, and what coconut water is doing is basically a natural form of what Gatorade does: replenish the electrolytes and make sure that you're getting a good balance so that you're always getting sound muscle contraction and good nerve conduction every time you work out. Impact is considered a high stim pre-workout. Why do they say high stim pre-workout? It's this next section of the supplements fact, believe it or not, called Explosive Impact Stim Matrix. Stim is in stimulant, stimulation. Similar to caffeine, these enhance your central nervous system conduction of nerves. It'll increase your heart rate, increase your reaction time. The really main players in this blend is Synephrine, labeled Synephrine HCl, and Hordenine. Now, you might see there's a slight change in kind of this matrix if you look at the new versus the old blend. It's actually not a change in ingredients, it's just a change in the way they label them. This new shiny top is actually their new label, and they went ahead and changed the name of Hordenine to Hordeum vulgare, which sounds super fancy, and it's actually a Latin term of a plant. You can look it up, it's actually barley. Yeah, believe it or not, Barley has a stimulant in it. Now, of course, you're not going to eat a bowl of barley and start feeling all tweaked out. What they do is they extract this hordenine from the barley in a high dose, really not high in perspective of the overall ingredients on the label, but high enough to induce this stimulating effect. And then synephrine, it may sound scary, it's actually from citrus fruits, such as like orange or grapefruit. You might find this in some other fat-burning supplements. It's because it also induces this stimulating effect, raising heart rate. You might find that you sweat more with it. It has been shown to increase mental focus and alertness and reaction time. Whether you're an athlete trying to have a good reaction time on the court, or you're just somebody in the weight room trying to be really explosive with their weightlifting, either way, these stimulating ingredients can really enhance your exercise output and your intensity. If you're more focused, guys, I promise you're going to get more work done on the court, on the field, in the gym, and that is going to translate into better performance and output. So definitely good ingredients to be included. Next section on the supplements fact is the AFT, Active Fat Transporter. Impact is a really good, well-rounded pre-workout. They don't just market it towards the athlete looking for better performance in their sport for power output or endurance. You guys, if you're looking to burn some fat, this is also a really good pre-workout to include in your regimen. There's two big ingredients, and they only use these two because they've been proven by science to work, guys. It's carnitine and caffeine. Caffeine's in everything, I know. Carnitine, if you want to learn a little bit more about that, please go check out my carnitine video. I'll explain it much more in depth. But suffice to say, carnitine is an amino acid and it will accelerate your fat burning potential. It's definitely a good ingredient incorporated in here, and the dose they use in Impact, I promise you, will over the course of time help contribute to better results. Caffeine in here, really high dose, guys. They use 400 milligrams in a full dose. Right on the label they tell you can start at a half dose. I would certainly recommend that if you're not familiar with that high milligram of caffeine, but 400 milligrams is definitely on the higher end, proven to help with fat burning, but also to help with mental focus and alertness, and to actually reduce the total feeling of fatigue within a workout. If you want to learn more about caffeine, please check out my caffeine video. I'll explain it much more in depth there, but suffice to say, carnitine and caffeine, really good ingredients when it comes to fat burning in this pre-workout. Energy, focus, and volume. The three words I mentioned at the beginning of this video, guys. Focus. How can they claim that there's a focus benefit to it? Well, they've got, further down the list, it's the Alphamine Advanced Focus Blend. Again, two really important ingredients that they use here. Lionize, which is a trademarked version of lion's mane, a mushroom that you might be familiar with, maybe, maybe not. If you're familiar in the health realm, you might have heard of it. Another really big ingredient within the pre-workout realm is becoming quite popular at this point, alpha-GPC. Both of these contribute to enhanced focus and alertness. They both help with central nervous system health. Central nervous system being your nerves that conduct impulses throughout your entire body. And then we're talking spinal cord and the brain. So these all kind of contribute to improved reaction time and focus. So if you're in the gym trying to get good benefits with your workout, be really good intensity, or if you're trying to work out as an athlete out on the court or on the field, this will really kind of help dial in your focus. Lion's mane, a very natural mushroom. There's still some research being conducted on it, but there's also some research that's already been done. It actually helps improve nerve health and function. And then alpha-GPC is actually, the GPC each stand for different ingredients that are quite common actually in the food supply. Your body can naturally synthesize this together to make an ingredient that helps, again, with nerve conduction and with focus and with your nerve health. When we're talking about Alphamine, this Alphamine blend, it's only two ingredients, but I wouldn't disregard them because they're actually quite important and can really actually make that small difference between not having that intensity or really bringing the intensity to whatever you're doing and actually getting the most benefit out of it. All right, we're getting our way all the way down the list, guys. The ingredients are getting smaller, but that does not mean they're getting any less important. Sometimes you save the best for last. These last two ingredients are 10 milligrams and 5 milligrams respectively within a single dose. Sounds super small, but like I said, it doesn't mean it's not important. This is the Advanced Absorption Blend. So actually, this final blend contributes to the actual effectiveness of all the other ingredients we've already talked about. Synephrine PF is a trademarked version of cinnamon, of all things. And then BioPerine, also pronounced BioPerine, is a black pepper extract. So really we're just looking at two different spices, cinnamon and black pepper. But in this extracted form, in this highly purified, much more potent form than you'd simply get from sprinkling some cinnamon or black pepper on your food, you actually enhance the absorption through a variety of biochemical pathways in your body. so that all of these ingredients that we've discussed actually become much more effective and much more absorbed than you would get without this final blend. So don't disregard this final blend. That 10 and 5 milligrams, very important, and actually makes this entire pre-workout supplement even more effective than just about any market pre-workout you'll find. Alright guys, we had a lot of ingredients to cover, but that's because there's a lot of good ingredients in this pre-workout, so thanks for sticking with me. So don't forget that Impact Igniter, they have a lot of important ingredients in here that will make a difference in your workout. It is guaranteed. These are scientifically backed and researched ingredients. Impact will make an impact on your progress, I promise. Don't forget that each ingredient has a specific purpose, labeled right on the label, and every single one is in there at the right dose to make sure you are getting the most out of every single workout. Impact Igniter, I'd recommend checking it out. Thanks guys.